special report tonight with Richard Giordano and Michael Roser. They're going to be going over incredible UFO sightings just into third phase of moon. Buckle up, everybody. Check this out.
For centuries, people have been witnessing anomalous activity in the skies. Too many times, we are keen to jump to an irrational explanation, while if we had taken a moment to analyze and critique the event, we may have discovered something more grounded. We certainly know, through the conviction of abductees, contactees, ex-military officials, and others who have claimed contact, that there is a real phenomenon surrounding extraterrestrial presence. Exactly what are we seeing above us, within our forests, and floating gently off our coasts? Join us tonight for another comprehensive look at some of these vintage sightings here on Third Phase UFO Report.
I love a classic broad daylight flying saucer encounter, and I'm wondering what this is all about. This was captured in Southern California. Let's just take a look. All right, we receive these videos all the time. Basically, these dark spheres up in the skies could be a balloon silhouetted by the sun, thus the dark object itself. But what really is kind of compelling were the high-res photos that were submitted from the same location. Apparently an uncle and his niece were there at this scene, and we're going to go over a close-up on it. We did a lot of kind of enhancements to try and let this thing stand out pop, but you could kind of see that it's not exactly a black object 100%. There is some kind of gleam of light to the right, a grayish outline to it, and a dark underneath belly.
Even though there are certain reference objects within the environment, it's still a little difficult to estimate the size of this craft. It does seem to be gliding along with ease, as if one thrust from a burner in space is enough to propel the craft indefinitely. So, there are numerous sightings that convey some sort of metallic ball of varying sizes and colors, some illuminated, from every corner of our planet. I understand the sacred geometry behind the sphere, and if whatever intelligence has surpassed that preliminary knowledge, they may have been able to accurately apply that understanding to their technology. And if that is the case, and it's a natural course of discovery in the way of intermeshing technology and spiritual principles, perhaps this is the destined trajectory for our species as well.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, to grasp kind of the physical character of what we're looking at. I like that he's got perspective. You see the house, there's a roof of the house, and I like look at it. It goes right there. Could they be balloons? Yeah, it possibly could be, but this is what we found kind of interesting, this photo. It gives,
there's actually two
mechanic
photos that were captured in 2016, and there we go. I'm liking this close up. See, obviously, when you look at it now, definitely it's not a balloon. It definitely has a metallic kind of look to it, a sheen. The light parameters of it looks very consistent. It seems like everything matches up.
Yeah, first when I looked at it, I thought it was a sphere. Now this photo kind of disproves that, and definitely looks flat. It looks like it doesn't look like your typical drum, that's for sure. I would see a hard time to even where to put the propellers or the mechanics to something like this. Unless it's hollow in the middle, we're not seeing that.
When you're looking at it from this angle, it definitely could resemble some kind of a balloon. People dismiss them all the time, obviously, but in this case, this does give pretty much evidence that it's some kind of saucer-like craft.
Now, the photo that was captured from this sighting is clearly intriguing, harboring some sort of tearing or disc-like qualities within the far distance. This, of course, sheds a new dynamic on this particular craft. It is not the same metallic ball others have reported. My mind always reverts to Billy Meyer when seeing some of these simple crafts, at least in way of design. Unless the photograph was staged and submitted together with the video footage, we may have something worthy of study here.
Is it some kind of drone? We're not seeing any kind of prop propeller blades. And again, in 2016, the drones weren't so prevalent around. And you would see prop propellers. This thing is basically smooth sheened.
Yeah.
And the still photograph is what really basically still seals it for me when I'm looking at this. So you see the perspective, there's a tree, this thing's pretty much off in the distance. You would have to speculate that this thing's probably about, maybe, 22 feet in diameter. Look at this. It's
Scarlet.
Very, very sleek in design here.
Absolutely. Drones usually don't have a tilt when they're flying, and Scarlet decks. She states that it's trippy the way it's tilted. It can't be a balloon. Well, I'm not saying if it is a balloon or not, but
that doesn't look like a balloon to me.
Drones
really
don't fly tilted unless you have the propellers right at the right top of this object.
Yeah, that's why we're going back in the archive, because we've got so many videos that we haven't really shared with the people in a grand way, because sometimes YouTube and its algorithm, it just kind of, some of the videos go big, some of them don't. That's why we're pulling up these videos from 2016.
Yeah,
that just really didn't get the hits, and I think they need to be seen here.
Yeah, B. Baker, hey, thanks for joining us. That's from Goof On Radio. So that's cool you joining us. Appreciate it. Because, yeah, we're going over footage that we need to look at again. And, yeah, we're not saying if it's a UFO and they're piloted by little green men. Absolutely not.
If this is a drone, the way that Blake and Brent are surmising, it's possible the photo was taken as the pilot attempted to stabilize the drone. Because of our position, again, if there is any validity to this being something mechanical, the top of the craft is not visible, which may hide the propellers. It's a stretch, but it's certainly something to consider, and Brent makes due mention of this. When people, by and large, look into the sky and see a UFO, there is an association with extraterrestrials automatically. This is actually folly, and the lack of critical thinking will always obscure the truth. It is possible these crafts are operated by an alien species, but within our purported interaction with extraterrestrials in the past, I believe, around 80% of the time, you are witnessing our own back-engineered high technology.
Let's get to this first video of what looks to be some kind of crazy illuminated donut flying in the sky. We're looking at this very closely. We're slowing it down. This came in from Jaime Maussan, and we're gonna get a close look at this. Is this legit, or is this some possible massive hoax? All right, we're getting a close look, and right now the illuminance from this craft, this donut-shaped craft, seems legitimate. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, this thing's pretty wild. Look at the erratic maneuvers it's doing, and it's creating this donut shape like we're seeing right here. Again, could this be CGI and manipulated? I like the features, though. It's still curious. Everything around it seems kind of legitimate. Even the pixels around the close-up. The dynamics around this craft, if that's what it is outstanding. But still, looking at this thing and not really having a source behind it, I'm still suspect to what we're looking at here. Even though it's fantastic, we're sharing it right now. But then again, I'm still leaning maybe towards CGI. Now, look at this new video. Again, coming in from South America. What are we looking at here, Blake?
Again, we're getting these craft coming in from all the places that we expect. In the region of Mexico and beyond, we even have more illuminated lights that resemble the same exact thing that we're just looking at. And this maybe could confirm that whatever's going on is on a consistent basis. And we have different angles from different sources. So this is proving a lot. Look at, we have one from 2021, just earlier in Phoenix, and now in this region of this crazy ring-shaped object that's performing maneuvers that seems unconventional. This isn't a drone, and if this isn't CGI, then what the heck is it? This is something that needs to be seen. So if you're joining us right now, Tell your friends, Third Phase of Moon's live, because we got a lot of UFO sightings coming up in this episode. Brent?
Yeah, you see everybody piling in. That's great. All the regulars are friends, the third phasers. You guys rock. Again, we have this Phoenix sighting comparatively to what was captured in South America. They do resemble the same object. So it could be a possibility that what we're looking at here is legitimate, and that's something to question. It's fascinating footage, and I'm glad that we're sharing it again right here, and we're discussing this, and everybody else is taking a look at this closely.
What can we say about these things? It's something new just about every time you come to this channel. And this is one of those times. A flying donut is what we have here. This is the letter O, a donut. It is a light source of some kind. Is it a balloon with LED lights inside of it? And somebody just released it? Look at this. There's other places around the world, as you saw in Phoenix, Arizona, and other places around the world have seen this object. What are we really looking at here? And this is one of those times, if it isn't a balloon with LED lights in it, or a spinning out of control drone, then I don't have any idea what this is. I don't remember seeing a light like this flying through the sky or whatever it's doing. It's there, it's in the sky, and it just doesn't really make sense. You know? People have been seeing these things, but nobody knows what they are. Look at this. I'm trying to think. Why would an alien species have an object like this? I don't know. I don't know. Is it kind of like a flare? It lights up the environment, makes them see what's on the ground. Is there something we don't understand about this light source that is illuminating the area around it? Is it some sort of secret technology we don't understand and are only seeing by accident? It's pretty wild. I enjoy this. This is why I do this. This is why you watch this. This is bizarre. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be in the sky. It's not a plane. It's not a drone. It's not a bird. What is it? Well, I don't know either. But let's get to the next sighting, which is equally as disturbing as this one. Disturbing because I don't know what we're looking at half the time. Is it CGI? You know, is somebody throwing up stuff in the sky? I don't know. You're going to have to check this next one out, so let's do it.
Galia Novo, Moscow, captured 2019 of an eerie, strange orb. Some kind of spiritual being or interdimensional being? That is the question. Watch this video. Let me know your thoughts. Alright, we're looking at this, and what I like is that this man who captured this has given us permission to share with you, actually has a very steady hand. It's pretty hard to track an orb of light moving as quickly as it does, and he manages to focus on it quite well. Whatever it is, I'm going to have to rule out a drone or a Chinese lantern. It doesn't look like either of these, but it does look like a classic orb, as people have stated thousands of times on Third Phase of Moon. Are these interdimensional? Is it a light being? Is it living? Is it some kind of organic anomaly, a phenomenon, maybe after an earthquake, static electricity?
I have spoken to so many people who claim to see these type of anomalous lights in forests, hillsides, and above towns and certain cities. In certain circumstances, people actually witness these balls of light descend and land. Even more rare, some have reported seeing humanoid beings emerge from the stationary craft. What we may be witnessing in these sort of sightings may very well be something more within nature, but the extent of which has eluded comprehension. Are these illuminated floating orbs some kind of elemental being? There only appears to be one giant light, but perhaps it's because the camera is only allowing so much light into the lens. Or, maybe still, with the absence of FAA lights, this is actually a craft being tested by our military or another faction of militarized organization. I will admit, as Blake did, the gentleman who filmed this did a fantastic job.
Whatever it is, it's an incredible video, and I, again, want to get your thoughts. Brent, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I like the way he focuses on it. You can see the speed of this object as it's passing through the trees. It seems like something's inside's illuminating what we're looking at, or what's illuminating it is a big question. Moscow is a hotspot for UFOs, and could this be some sort of secret Putin technology, his own space force?
Look quickly, we just noticed. When we replayed the video, there's some kind of flashing going on in the background. Could this be the source of this UFO? This thing's not making any noise. It's not a major airliner, and it is very consistent with its light source. So whatever is behind it has a consistent energy, as people would speculate, a spectrum of light that comes from a power within, something not of this earth.
This flashing that Blake is observing is really reminiscent of heat lightning. The only problem is the flashing is constant and consistent in duration. Even still, the intermittent light seems to be peripheral. So if it is the craft producing this effect, I'm not sure how it achieves this. Now, if there is enough moisture in the air, light can carry and refract, creating a softer arc presence of illumination. Could this be what we're witnessing in this video? Okay, let's take it out to the next sighting.
Is this a ring of fire, a portal? Let's look at this. I'm going to zoom up here as we move along on the timeline. Could this be CGI?
We're getting a close-up look at this, and there could be some kind of ring of fire in the sky.
It almost looks like the Aurora Borealis happening somewhere in the world. We don't know too much information on this, but what's your opinion, guys? It's pretty strange. I like what I'm seeing here. Guys, back that up. I want to see that one more time, Blake.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at this. There's a lightning storm, a thunderstorm going on here. Take a look. It's almost refracting with this ring-shaped cloud. We've seen rings in the sky, but this one's kind of unusual. It's putting off kind of a green, hueish yellow glow about it.
Yeah, hit the top chat. The comments are going so fast, we need to see what's going on. Some people are saying it could be a CERN or a HARP project.
Stargate, some people are saying right now. Daryl Premier says, what TF? WTF? CERN comes from Mr. Happy Guy.
For what it's worth, I have listened to channeled interviews with supposed extraterrestrials, read countless articles of dictated readings, and spoken to people who claim to have interaction with off-world presences, and they all say something similar. That we do not understand the majority of weather phenomenon that occurs in our skies, and therefore, mistake these events as something more significant. What is concerning is folks jumping to an esoteric conclusion when seeing something like this, simply because as a population, we know we are lied to by our government every day. What matters is finding the truth in these sightings, even if it bears no resemblance to what we expected.
Brent, your opinions right now, is this legit video or?
I do believe in weather phenomena that could create such an event, but I'm still sketched out because we don't know who shot this. I'm not aware of the source. I think there'd be more material on the ground. I do believe that it's a possibility that this could be CGI, even though it looks fantastic. Could it be, Blake? What do you think? What's your opinion, guys?
That's right. That's why we're putting it out there. We want to get your opinion. as well, because we have over approaching 600,000 subscribers. We're moving up fast on YouTube. People have been following Third Phase of Moon as of the past few months, more so than ever, because people that are watching right now, they are the detectives just as much as we are. We don't claim to know everything, and the whole point is we want to get everybody's opinions right here. Okay, there's like a thunderstorm going on.
Yeah, you can see lightning and thunder. Could this be an attraction of UFO events or something else? Weather phenomenon? Is this natural?
As much as I would like to believe this ring in the sky to be a product of some curious undertakings, this to me looks like some sort of compartmentalized fall streak hole, otherwise known as a hole punch cloud. A fall streak hole is created when aircraft fly through altocumulus clouds that hold an abundance of supercooled water droplets. So, even though this halo is very prominent in form, it's quite possible this is simply an optical illusion wherein sunlight is splaying through a cloud that has been moved by either wind or air traffic. When disturbed by an impetus, the water droplets freeze or evaporate immediately, which forms a hole, and quite possibly, this halo-like cloud form. The colors observed may be a result of the sunlight hitting these ice crystals.
Videos that have just come to us via Seed to Shatter. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's in Southern California, and he's been submitting videos to us over the past couple days. And he's given us permission to share it with you right now. Let's get to the first one. He captured this just today. We're looking at the video, and some people right away are saying that this could be just a flock of birds. Let's just zoom in, get a closer look, and see if these guys are birds or not, because what we're looking at this moment is some kind of squadron of UFOs, in my opinion. Brent, I want to get your thoughts here.
Yeah, look at that formation. That's what I like about what we're looking at here. There's some sort of continuity to it. They seem kind of like programmed. What I was thinking, is this like maybe a sort of skywriting techniques of drones in formation, creating what you see over the skies of LA? But this is new tech, what I'm looking at here, Blake.
If these are drones, they're moving super fast, and the altitude that these are incredibly high. These are in the vicinity of major airliners, and they're moving super quick. If they have some kind of AI technology, this is something that we're looking at right now. We're gonna have to rule out birds, right?
Yeah, as soon as I showed one of our friends this video, he said, look, it looks like you can see the wings flapping on it. He thought it was birds legitimately, but when we move in, we could tell that these are something that is mechanical, something new, high tech.
He actually manages to hold the camera pretty steady and zoom in to get a clear shot of these drones display in the sky. And right now, I don't think they're fighter pilots or some kind of small aerial craft with humans piloting these things. It's way too small, way too high. There has to be some kind of artificial intelligence that is controlling these things in the skies. Are these unmanned drones?
Whatever it is, we can tell the synchronicity between what's traveling in the skies. We know it's not random, they're controlled, and for what? That's a big question.
Absolutely. Now, let's get to the second video captured by the Seed to Shatter. This is going to blow you away. A swarm of crows surrounding some kind of unusual object. Take a look at this.
Really?
A natural display of an aerial phenomenon in regards to crows possibly interacting with some kind of UFO, a magnetic field that attracts the birds in a flock surrounding this unusual object. Is this maybe just a balloon floating away? I would see why the crows would have no reason to surround it. It seems like they're actually attracted to it. Very strange video. Let's get a closer look. All right, Brent, you're looking at this. I want to get your thoughts. I don't see a tether, and that's a big question. Is there a tether on this? Is it an advertisement balloon or some sort of man-made object? We're not sure what we're looking at. I'm seeing the crows, which I find fascinating. It seems like it flies in front of this object. It gives some sort of dimension, a mass to it. How large do you think this is, Blake? Well, we're trying to get a good close-up on it, and right now I could speculate. It seems like they're surrounding this thing. So I'd have to estimate from the size of a crow and whatever the distance is from the cameraman himself to the object, I would have to say it would be at least 15 to 25 feet in its formation, whatever it is. It's unusual, but what's more unusual is that these crows are surrounding it, and they're in a frenzy. But in my opinion, they're attracted to it by its magnetic field. Something is giving some kind of signal to the birds, and they're, again, going crazy. I'm looking at it one more time. It looks legitimate. I'm still wondering, could this be CGI? I'm going to ask that question. And it looks like we can't explain it. I don't see any really faults to it. I do like that the crows are flying in front of it. It gives a moment that I think this is real. I think that the seed to shatter captured something legitimate in our skies.
Well, 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 what do we have here? Two sightings we're going to talk about back to back. The first one is the fleet of unknown objects. I'm looking at this like you, and I immediately see something very, very stable. I see these objects unified, static in their position, moving at a constant rate of speed unknown. But we have, 5, 10, 11 of these things, and I can't tell if it's CGI. It looks like they're in the sky. Birds, drones, balloons, I think not. The only thing it could be are two things: drones and CGI. And I don't think it's drones, and I'm not sure if it's CGI. At one point, it has a weird, almost transparent look to it. Like either the camera can't really focus well or take the light in as it should through the aperture and whatnot. It's just right there. You see what I mean? It's almost transparent. I think it's the sunlight. I think it's the sunlight at the angle hitting inside the camera, inside the lens. It's just creating an odd effect. But this is really amazing. I'm positive it's not balloons. It just doesn't look like it. If anything, it looks like helicopters. Maybe we're seeing helicopters. That's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, but there was no sound, right? Very strange. Yeah, I really don't get it. Why would there be so many, you know? That's the thing. Where are they going? Is there a military base nearby? I'm not too sure about that. Interesting, though. Have to admit, seeing something like this in the sky would make anybody want to take out their camera and record it. Pretty wild. Yeah, now it could be drones, but I think they would have to be big. It's awfully high, too. It's a couple of 1,000 feet up. I wonder if there were any reports put into the airport, you know, the tower. Maybe they saw something. They're very close. Very, very close together. If that's helicopters, man, I'd be really surprised if they would do it like that. Fly like that close in formation. Unless they were at an air show. And the one hanging back, the one to the bottom right, that's similar to what we see in military formation, you know, flyovers and things like that. So I don't know. Now we have this object, and I really have my opinion on this one. And I think I'm going to stand by it. Because what I think is happening is not what we were told. I don't believe that that object is influencing these birds. I think the object is further away. I think the birds are close. I think there may be a carcass on the ground or something to attract all of these birds. But to me, that egg-shaped object looks considerably further out there and a lot higher up. Now, whether it's transmitting a signal in that general area and it's creating the birds, you know, maybe disorienting them or making them move. Look at the object. It looks like there's something in the center of it. Like a hole or something. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there isn't anything in the sky. I think there's something there for sure. I don't think it's CGI. But the birds flying around the way they are, I just think they're a lot closer to the camera than the object is. I think the object is way out there. It's pretty far. Probably maybe a mile, half a mile further away from these birds. I could be wrong. It's very hard to judge distance with a shot like this, an object that small in the sky. But I would be interested to know how far away it really is. Too bad we didn't get this person recording it to drive towards it. See if they can get underneath it or closer to it. Nonetheless, it's interesting to talk about because we feel that these UFOs emit some sort of strange signal. We're going to go to the next one. It's pretty good.
Contem o que vocês acham que é isso. All right, so we're looking at this video again of whatever this illuminated craft is. It almost seems like it's on fire, but it doesn't represent a typical Chinese lantern. This seems like it's something else. And it ejects these strange orbs of light, these drones. What's going on here, Brent?
Yeah, it's a very cool capture. I like that he stays with it for the duration of its time, and it just seems to cruise on by. It seems to be kind of oscillating in its own sense, make me lean towards maybe this is one of ours. But what I like about it, again, is these orbs that start to drop from this object itself, and it seems to just
slowly drop down and descend towards the ground. The big question is, what is this in the sky? Great submission.
Well, 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 what do we have here? It looks like a UFO that is releasing some sort of something. I mean, we don't know. Is it another UFO? Is it a Chinese lantern? And it's just starting to burn up in the sky. Look at this. I mean, this is really bizarre. We've seen these time and time again where objects are falling or coming out of the objects, and then they either disappear or they just hang out and go with the object. And that's what we have here. This object tilts forward, and it looks like it's dropping off something. I don't know. The one thing about this that is a little bit disturbing is you can see the clouds are moving from left to right. The object is moving from left to right. If it's a Chinese lantern or some sort of structured thing that can light up on the inside and stuff just falls out of it, I don't know. I don't see any fire, smoke, any sparks, anything like that that would show fire in the wind or in a windy situation. I really don't know. I don't know. I would have to say, if anything, logically speaking, I would have to say it's probably a Chinese lantern of some sort, but I don't know.
I want to thank Dark Hour Paranormal along with Rich from Goof On. Keep your eyes on the skies, everybody.